Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome to the match reaction and the player ratings for Arsenal's 2-1 defeat to Everton. Yet another defeat. I mean, we're getting used to it. You're getting used to it. It's unfortunate. It reminds me kind of Wenger's last season and Emery's last season. The amount of times you're losing. I'm literally getting used to it, and it's very unfortunate. And I have Cozy with me. How are you?
I'm okay, Blood. I'm very fine. I'm used to losing, so I'm used to the same old Arsenal. I'm fine. I've just taken something to eat, energized. I'm fine. I'm doing well.
AJ90?
Same. It's just dejecting. I knew it was coming, the loss. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing all right.
Awesome. And Jibin, how are you?
Yeah, fine.
Awesome. So it was yet another defeat. To be fair, probably all of us didn't expect a win. There's none of us who expected a win. I was optimistic. I went for a draw. I had Cozy saying he had gone for a 2-1. I don't know which kind of dream he had in the last 2 nights, but definitely you're smoking on something very strong. So another defeat, and we're going to go through the match reaction for the first 10 minutes, and then you're going to get into the player rating. So, Cozy, what did you make of the game?
My God. I mean, really nothing new. I told you, Glenn, we are the Bourbons. We are just like the Bourbons. We learn nothing, we forget nothing. So the same performance from we've seen from Arsenal. Trying to pull off some scary moments in games, but we are really not that scary side that you think is going to get into the final third and do something, create chances, then put them off or finish them off. We are the same with Arsenal, though. And this game, I thought in the last 15 minutes, we had some quality. We have taken long without saying maybe the quality we saw at against Manchester United, in the first half. I think that was a quality first half. And I thought maybe this was, it was about a span of 10 to 12 minutes as the game was trying to end. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, TIERNEY, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, they were fighting. They're trying to do something different, and they're like, okay, but still, generally, the performance was so down. It's like every manager knows how to beat Arsenal, and they do it. They intentionally leave the ball to us. They intentionally, dominate when they need to dominate and leave the ball to Arsenal when they need to dominate. When they need to leave the ball to Arsenal. Just look at the way Everton started. They started knowing that this is how we can hurt Arsenal. They swing it that ball. They swing in those balls. They try to create those chances. One goal, second goal. They're like, okay, now leave the ball to Arsenal. We had the ball, we passed it around, we took it to the left, to the right. Willian, just resurrected in the second half. He started, passing something. Then I was like, okay, now are we gonna create something in this game? But still, at the end, it was the same old performance, the same old Arsenal. You have that ball, you're toothless, you can't do anything. I mean, it's still average. It's still not good enough. I mean, it's a game where you thought Arsenal had the ball for 10 minutes, but you ask yourself, how many chances did they create? They're nowhere to be seen. Then you lacked a lot of finishing. I would still go for Arteta's head when when we got for the team selection. NKETIAH, why do you put NKETIAH against Michael Keane? And Yerry Mina. Why? I mean, he is not that, he doesn't have the physique. He's not that fast of a player that he's going to beat them with his speed. Why do you start him over Lacazette? I mean, he never got that right. That's the fact. He never got that right. Still, the midfield four, there was lack of creativity. The only spark we had was Bukayo Saka, like we have already said. So same old Arsenal, Glenn. Same old Arsenal. Nothing new, added today.
Yeah, AJ90, I want to bring you on now. What concerns you most? Is it the fact that we are not scoring any goals, or is it the fact we are conceding all of a sudden in every single game?
I think it has to be a bit of both. But I think in terms of the conceding side, you have to remember Gabriel obviously is missing today. He's probably been our best centre back this season. In terms of the scoring side, that's been a problem all season from the start. I think ever since we played Fulham, that was a scoring game. But I think ever since from then, we've just not looked to score goals. You know, we've had enough creativity in terms of Tierney putting balls in at times, Ainsley putting balls in, balls being put in from Saka. So I think we have enough creativity to score to be further up the table. I think we just at the moment don't have a clinical striker that could take the chances. Aubameyang obviously was missing today. That was not good for us. Willian just again, he's been so poor since he's come in, and we'll get, as you said, we'll get onto it in more detail. But Saka looks like the only good spot going forward at the moment. If you look at lower down the pitch, Ceballos is playing too deep, in my opinion. He's supposed to be a creative player, which is why we brought him in the first place in the window. But he's just not been that player. He's played way too deep. Same with NENY. It's too sideways. It's too backwards. It's too negative. I don't think Everton played all that well, but I think in the second half, they just gave us the ball and said, look, Arsenal, come at us. That's what every team's done this season. They've scored the required goals against us, and they've just said, Arsenal, come at us. And every team have defended really well and have done enough to block us out. And because we don't create enough, and when we do create, we've not got a striker at the end of it. Clear example of this was, I think in the last few minutes, someone from the right-hand side put the ball across. No one's in there, no one's in our box for a tap-in. In their 6-yard box. And this was like in the 93rd minute. No one's in there for a tap-in. We don't have a clinical striker at the moment. Again, as I said, tell this on Cosdy's show, Tierney puts the ball in, Eddie Nketiah, any good striker in the Premier League, any striker in the Premier League's putting that in. Take another touch, take your time, and put it in the corner. And then all of a sudden, you have a different game. Eddie Nketiah, I don't think he's good enough. I gave him a 0 out of 10 in my player ratings. He's not good enough. He's a championship level striker. No offense to him. But I think anyone like Balogun puts that in. I think Aubameyang puts that in, Lacazette puts that in, even someone like Willian probably puts that in, let's be real. So I think it's Arteta isn't helping himself.
I like the way you talked about the crossing. Jibin, I want to bring you on now. The crossing that AJ90 talks about. Right now we have anyone who plays as a winger for Arsenal. We have two wingers called Inshallah and one is called Al Croissant. Like any ball they get, it's a cross. Any ball they get, it's a cross. Inshallah, there no shooting attribute is very low. Passing attribute is very low. You can see Al Croissant's shooting is only 25. That is because you have no shots at all. It's just crossing. Is that the way you want Arsenal to play, Jibin? Is that our style of play? Run to the wing and cross the ball?
No, never. And if you want a cross, like you can bring Giroud back. At least he will score some headers if you're putting crosses.
Yeah. So what style of play should we be playing right now?
Like we should play like an attacking football. Okay, I understand. Like from when Unai Emery, like when he was like leaking defense, his defense like setup was set. At least he used to score goals. Like whether it is like 5 or 6 goals, even if you're conceding 5 or 6, he used to score like 3 or 4. So at least like we can see like we can score. Like last year, like when I talked to my rivals, like even one Chelsea fan told like if you're we know your defense is shit, but your attack is always scary, and they had every fear like when our attack is so scary. But this time there's no attack now. Now defense is also gone, and especially that midfield is complete bullshit. Like without Partey, it's like nothing. There's no midfielder.
Yeah, it's like without Partey, we're just the same team as last season, basically, and also without Gabriel. So let's take a look at the lineup. Cozy, what did you make of the lineup? Were you happy with the lineup? Any disappointments?
Basically, I looked at that lineup. I was shocked because I was not really following. So I was shocked when Aubameyang was not in. So I had to look for why he didn't play. He was not even on the bench. Then I saw that he had a tight calf. That's like, oh, this is really, big problems for us. No, but if you ask me, was I happy? No, I wasn't. Much of this, lineup, I've seen it for how long this season? 14 games, 13 games, 12 games consistently. I've seen, apart from Niles, apart from David Louis, I've seen these players. So there isn't anything that excites me. There isn't anything that brings that contentment in me as a fan. But I did agree with Nketiah starting. I didn't agree with Eddie Nketiah starting for ahead of Alexander Lacazette. He was playing tall defenders. He was playing physical defenders. It was gonna be a physical game. What are you bringing? Why are you bringing him to do so? I didn't, I didn't agree with that. But like I've already said, he doesn't, as a manager, he doesn't have so many options, especially in the midfield. You think about NENY, you think about CEBALLOS. Almost the midfield is depleted. It's over. The options are over. Of course, that is partly because he let some players out, like Torreira, like Ozil, like Kenduzi. He let them out. So that still goes back to his own back. But I wasn't really, happy with the lineup. I don't think Arsenal can put up a lineup these days, and I feel confident. And because even if there is a Aubameyang, Partey, Saka, Martinelli, I just know that I just don't know how the body language is going to be. I just don't know how the how we are going to react, the morale and everything. So I was not really happy with that lineup, because it's the same old average Arsenal that we are putting out for clubs to smash. So I mean, another beatable lineup that was beaten. What difference does it make, Glenn?
Yeah. AJ, were you concerned when you didn't see Aubameyang's name in the team sheet, or you just like, what, he's not been doing that much anyway, we can do without him?
Those for me, there's two sides for it. Obviously, the one side was he's our most clinical striker. He is, obviously. It's Aubameyang. He will bring you class at sometimes.
Yeah.
Obviously finished our chance off against Southampton. But at the other side of it, I thought maybe let's see how we do without Aubameyang. And we clearly missed him today, because some of the chances we had, maybe Aubameyang would have put them in. Like some of the crosses, he isn't the best aerially, but he's probably the best in our team going forward aerially, which again, the quality of that isn't very good. But just looking at the lineup quickly, I thought maybe Balogun could have made the bench at least. I was really happy Martinelli made it. One thought, I knew as soon as NKETIAH and Willian and Pepe are starting as a three, I knew we're not doing anything, because those three just don't work well together when they have played. Pepe again, I want to back the guy because I know what he can do. I know the talent he has, but he just doesn't produce it. Obviously, he got that goal, but it's a penalty. But Willian again, it's just a 3-year deal as well. This was going to be a make or break deal, to be honest, because either he was going to light it up for us, he was going to score a lot of goals and help us, or the other hand, it was going to be one of those where we put him on high wages and we're sitting here for 3 years and he's just part of this disease that we have to the club. Also, Holding again, he's not been good at all. And given the captain's armband, like seriously, couldn't have given to TIERNEY or even Saka or anyone. And we started with NENY and CEBALLOS. I couldn't see them the entire game. They were just there. They weren't doing anything of note. Obviously, I think one happy thing was Bellerin didn't start. Ainsley started. We didn't get as exposed down that left-hand side. But I think Richarlison did have a few good moments. He did get exposed at times, Ainsley. But overall, I thought you had an all right game. That's all I'll say with that one. But yeah, a half with the lineup I was.
Jibin, is that lineup good enough? Is that lineup even better than Everton's, really?
No, like I have said to Kosi, it's an okay lineup. It's just like an okay lineup. I was not good. I was not happy. I was not sad. I just okay lineup because there's no options left. Yeah, you can bring in Chambers or Saliba next instead of Holding. And yeah, and the team is only and instead of Nketiah, you can put Lacazette there. That's it. I don't think there's much to improve in there. And if you can remove Willian with Reece Nelson, it's better. But the thing is he's injured, so I can't put too much complaint with that lineup. To be honest, it was just okay.
So anyone who's wondering why Saka's name is there twice, it's not a mistake. Saka was like 2 players for us, and the likes of Pepe and Willian were non-existent. Yeah. So that's why Saka is there twice. I would have even put him 4 times because he's the only one who tried.
The main thing this season was surprised me. According to one player, it was Danny Ceballos. After that restart, he was looking looking like one of the best midfielders in Premier League. I'm not being deluded. Yeah. He was improving so much better. After that restart, so I thought Arteta has really improved that guy. When he then we had an option to buy for 18 million. At that time, I would have really taken him. But now it's like I want him to leave as soon as possible. He's shocking, bro. He's shocking. Like after that restart, I was looking like he
Actually,
was
with
so
Ceballos,
good.
I don't agree with that at all. I think the manager's mismanaging him. He doesn't play high enough. He should be playing more
Yeah,
further forward. I thought
yeah.
he
For the
played well
full body,
against
like
Southampton.
I remember like in Spain under 21, he was the best player of the season, best player in the tournament.
Under
So
21.
like yeah,
And
yeah,
Nketiah
and
played
like
well for England under
and
21.
in
Look at
Real
his form.
Betis, like he was looking into another level. So like when so Real Madrid should be on loaning him because like they had too much quality midfielders there, like Valverde, Kroos, Modric, and also I know that he won't have an option, so he left in. He came here. So from the first season, like from the start of the season, he had good games, and after that, like after the restart, he was so excellent. I was so impressed by him. But after that, again, recording back, oh my God, he was shocking, bro.
Awesome. So yeah, you can clearly tell if you don't laugh, you're going to cry. So we have to like see some of the positives, which there are probably none. So let's get into the player ratings, and probably a lot of people don't get high scores. Probably again since the United game, actually. That was the last time people got any decent scores. Since then, it's been terrible after terrible after terrible. So, Cozy, Leno is the first one. What did you make of Leno's
I've
performance?
already given him a 5. I'll give him a 4 for today. I mean, he conceded 2 goals. Uh, one, I don't blame him so much. The other, I don't blame him so much for both goals, really. But I'll give him a go. I'll give him. I'll just give him a 4. Um, not really, not so much. There were 2 big chances on his goal. They went in. So why should I be talking about so much of him? But I don't blame him for the goal. He tried to save that header, that Yerry Mina header, but I mean, it was too strong and was already off his line, so he couldn't get enough power on it. You could sympathize. Then the Rob Holding own goal. I think it was too far. It was really, really too far, and I think we are really letting him down as a team. He's a good goalkeeper. I really love him. He pulled off that very good supersonic save. Was it from Sigurdsson? Was that shot
It
from
was
Sigurdsson?
it
From
Sigurdsson.
Calvert Lewin, Calvert
Calvert
Lewin,
Lewin. Yeah, there was
Calvert
one
Lewin.
from Kane that
Yeah.
flashed past the
Yeah, it
post.
was
Yeah.
it was Calvert Lewin, and then I saw those reflexes, and I was like, yeah, this is the Leno I know. But still, like I said, I told you, Glenn, there isn't any match he has done in this game. I'll give him a 4. I'll go with a 4.
AJ.
I gave him a 7.
Hmm.
Only because I
7.
thought he looked quite dominant in his box. You can't, as I said, because he said this is where you can't blame him for the 2 goals. I thought there were defensive errors. The first one, obviously, it was more holding. It was you can't do much about that. He didn't expect holding's deflection. And then the second one, I think that was more Pepe's fault for not marking Mina, and then Saka for not seeing him coming around the front post. And then I thought one save where Calvert-Lewin, that was going top bins, and he pulled out a really good save, and he looked dominant in his box, and couldn't fault him too much. 7.
Jamin.
Yeah, I will give him like a 5. I think that's fair enough. Like, yeah, that shot from Calvert Lewin, his save, yeah, it was a good save in my opinion. Yeah, after that, like nothing much. I can't say like that both goals is his fault. Like he can't do anything with that both goals. One is like poor defending, poor marking, and one is from like it's a deflected goal. So nothing can be done with that. That whatever like he got the shots, like yeah, he's have done pretty well. So like I will give him a 5.
5 for Leno. The next one was Maitland Niles. So since Jabin praised him early on, we'll give you first. Niles, what did you make of his performance?
Yeah, I will give him 7.5 or 8. Yeah, 7. 7 is enough, I think so. My opinion. Because like that 3 points I'm reducing is because of his like it's not like the thing is like he's putting so much misplaced passes. If he improves on that, then he's very good.
Okay, cause you agree with Niles performing better than Bellerin has.
Of course, that's not even a question. Like he is miles better than him.
You are having a laugh, Glenn. But anyway, he had a good performance. He really, really had a good performance today. He didn't impress me against against Southampton. I thought he was, you know,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah, I think it was average. But today, the way he, the way he tried, especially coming forward, ditching in those balls inside the box, the penalties, one that was that was a clever decision to go down, in there. I thought, and you ask yourself, what was he doing in that position anyway? So I think, yeah, he was, he was, pretty good going that before, and I really loved that, on a few occasions, because Richarlison is one of those players that are going to give you a run for your money, as if you're a fullback. They're going to give you a run for your money. You expect that, but he was strong. He was a little bit strong. He always held in there. Was like, no, Richardson, you're not going to rip me apart. And the reason I think we didn't see much of Richardson and the Richardson we know is partly because of Ainsley. He knows what to do. If he needs to put that ball outside the pitch, he puts it. If he needs to clear it once, he's really, really decisive. And I love the runs as well. I love the runs. It felt like we have a right back today. We had the right back defensively and both going forward. So I would agree. You would give him. I would give him a 7. I wouldn't give him 7.5 or 8. I'll give him 7. But I think his his defensive, attributes and his going forward were a little bit slightly impressive, but more better than Bellerin.
Yeah.
AJ, you agree?
I thought again, Ainsley was much better than Hector Bellerin. Obviously played Southampton game with Bellis today. I gave my thoughts on it just a few minutes ago. I said, he didn't get as exposed, but he was getting exposed at times, sometimes positionally. But I think his link-up play with Pepe was good. I've always thought Niles and Pepe's link-up play has been good, but again, it was average. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't that bad either. I think maybe against Man City, we might need to try something different with Cedric. Maybe Cedric can bring us more positional awareness that Ainsley and Hector are not that good at. But again, it was nice to see Ainsley in the team again instead of Hector Bellerin.
Yeah, so Cozy, as you touched about Richarlison, there's that one time in the second half when Richarlison passed Niles, and I was like, oh no, don't foul him. He was about to foul him for a penalty, and I was screaming, please don't do it. So Richarlison is a tough opponent to face. So I think he kind of did well. So I think I'd agree with the 7. The next one I'll give AJ, the first one since you already touched on Holding.
Next one, Holding.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Rob Holding, again, from the start, why was he given the captain's armband? He's clearly not a captain. He hasn't acted like a leader. We don't have any leaders in this team, full stop, to be honest. We don't. Maybe Tierney would be one, Party when he's back. Maybe you could have given it to LUIZ today. But Arteta I think David Luiz and Arteta got a little problem there, which is why I probably didn't give him the armband. But again, he's just... In the last few weeks, we blamed Holding because he had Bellerin next to him. So Holding kind of got away with a lot of the criticism and it all went to Bellerin. But today, Ainsley wasn't that bad. So I think a lot of criticism should go on Holding. For the first goal, he couldn't have done much to avoid the own goal, but he could have got a bit tighter to Calvert-Lewin, which meant, it would have directed somewhere else. It wouldn't have got to it. But again, yeah, it's just... He wasn't amazing, but he wasn't terrible again. So we're probably giving like a 4 or 5 or something.
Holding? Cozy?
Like, the first thing, why do you make him captain? Why did you make him captain, Mikel Arteta? I'm asking myself, what is so attractive among the attributes of a good leader? Among those attributes of a good leader on the pitch, what does Rob Holding possess? You think Aubameyang is a leader at Arsenal because he's performing well. You understand? He's performing well, so you can, we have seen those things happen. Robin van Persie is scoring the goals, you give him captain. Thierry Henry, you give him a captain because he's scoring. You give who else? You give, you understand? So why is Rob Holding captain? Even for one game. This shows the level at which this club has gone down to. You can't make Rob Holding captain. You just can't. But his performance, and like AJ said, I mean, his shambolic performances have been comforted by Hector Bellerin. All the criticism pouring on one side, Hector Bellerin. But today, we saw him. And many people are going to blame Pepe for not marking Yerry Mina. But for me, You're the captain. You're the tallest defender on the pitch. You've got to pick out their most dangerous player, Yerry Mina. That that should be Rob Holding, not Pepe. Because Pepe, if you compare Pepe to Yerry Mina, the height, there is a difference in height. You understand? And that goal we considered against the first goal, I would say own goals happen. I don't want to blame him because it was on goal. But if it was it was Calvert-Lewin who had scored that goal, then ask yourself, are you accompanying him as a defender, or you're there to stop him? Because that was literally a free header. And Calvert-Lewin was going to cast himself if he didn't score that, because literally he brushed it and it was going out. Then Rob Holding puts it in, so he was going to cast himself. That's literally a free header, and you've made him onside. So for me, his performance was shambolic. I don't want to blame him so much. I mean, he wasn't so bad. I mean, he wasn't. I didn't see him so much of exposed like the way he was exposed against West Ham when Mikel Antonio almost crushed him in the whole game. But I think his performance was not up to the task today. He was not up to the task today. I'll give him a 4. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. But I mean, we considered 2 goals courtesy of him. I'm not contented that he is one player that needs to be at Arsenal. Maybe this should be his last season. Go out on loan, try to develop himself. If he fails to develop, then sell him out.
Try to develop himself. There's no time for that. He's been here for 6 years, man. He needs to go, or like if he's going, he goes. Not on loan. He needs to go if he's going. AJS is an Aston Villa fan. He's laughing at us. Of course, I can't tell him anything. They totally trashed us at the Emirates Stadium. Another person I cannot say anything to is the Wolves fan, also in the chat. They totally ran us off the park at the Emirates Stadium as well, so I can't tell him anything anyway. The Everton fans in the chat, again, I can't tell them anything. They beat us again. So it's not looking good, man. It's very depressing. So, Jibin, what did you give Holding?
Yeah, you like Kosi said, it's like his mistake from that both goals. I'm not saying like he's the worst performer on the pitch today, but but he should definitely deserve some criticism for his marking and his defending. So I would give him a 3 or 4. Yeah, 4.
4. I think that's probably fair. He was very, very bad. Like, he should not be playing for Arsenal, Cozy. Like, if he's supposed to be playing in the Carabao Cup games, he's not supposed to be like the 3rd defender at Arsenal. Maybe it's good to be like the 4th or 5th, but definitely not the 3rd choice.
Yeah, he's the type of squad player. Yeah, like third option squad player. That's it.
The surprising thing with him, he played well against Liverpool. He played well against, I think it was Chelsea or something, United. A few games he played well, and then when it comes to these other teams, he doesn't perform. Against Leeds, Bamford beat him to a head, as we said, against Calvert-Lewin again today. So it's not like a one-day thing. The next one, Cozy, I'll start with you. LUIZ.
Davy Louis. I appreciate the long balls, Davy. I really appreciate the long balls. He tries to create that something that is not existing at Arsenal. Trying those long balls. Look out for Pepe. Look out for Ainsley. Look out for TIERNEY. Start the runs. Drive that ball forward. I just love him. I just love him as a ball playing centre back. I think he reminds me of Marcelo. Marcelo, Real Madrid, that guy, that kind of defender who makes you feel like defenders can do more. Defenders have something more to add to the team, and I really loved him. I really loved it. But defensive wise, I don't think there is anything he did for me. Nothing, absolutely nothing. But much of the things we had to do, was to go forward, especially when we needed him to add to the attack, that maturity, that experience to add to the team going forward. Because almost everybody in that midfield, apart from Bukayo Saka, is clueless when it comes to Arsenal going forward. So you need that person who guides the team. Let's go forward. Let us, try to make steps forward. And I think it was David Louis on that pitch. I've always advocated him to start for to start for Arsenal. This is just because of that, not because he's a good defender. I can't forget the horrific atrocities he caused at Arsenal last season. 5 penalties in one season. I can't really forget that, and a couple of red cards. But I would say, I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5 because I didn't see much of an extraordinary performance from him. I didn't really see any extraordinary performance from David Louis. But you think about it, and you're like, if Gabriel comes back and David Louis continues with such performances, maybe we're going to have ourselves, a defense that can actually contribute to the attack as we look to clear out, the lack of creativity. I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5.
AJ, LUIZ, are you happy to have him back in the team?
He gives the experience. I haven't got lots to say again, like, because we said diagonal balls were good, but it's just average. This is what this team's come to, average. He's not all that, but again, he gives us that experience. He gives us that physicality in the centre half, something we lacked because Gabriel was suspended. So again, I'll give LUIZ down the middle of 5.
Jibin, what did you make of LUIZ? And do you think LUIZ and Gabriel is our best partnership, or you have any defenders in mind?
Yeah, I think so, because like Gabriel will like put the solid defensively, whereas LUIZ is like you can carry the ball, because like as Kosi said, it's like he's like a ball playing center back. But the thing is, like, I want to test him in different position. Like, remember when Unai Emery made him play as a defensive midfielder, because he's very good on the ball. So like I wanted to see more of, like, if any manager like can get of the best of the LUIZ, just not by center backs, they can make him play as a defensive midfielder, so that he can do necessary defending and do ball carrying ball.
So you give him
a 5. Yeah,
5.
I'll give him a 5. Yeah.
We're having to settle for what's the word again? Mediocrity. Yeah, we're having to settle for mediocrity because the other players are not good enough anyway. So, Kosi, the next one is TIERNEY. You guys said he had a couple of good crosses.
Yeah, he had a couple of good crosses in. But I'm telling you, look, TIERNEY is a good left back. I don't know if this, is going to be on the manager or the coaches down there, but you need to know the crosses here, he brought in, and I'm like, that is always going to be above the striker. That's going to always be above NKETIAH. And the other thing is, you look at crossing the ball. He crosses in so well. But you ask yourself, how many of these crosses are converted? So he needs to go for the lower crosses as well. Now, that takes us back to the NKETIAH chance. That was brilliant. If we can do that more often, then it's going to be the complete, full bag we want. Bring in 7 crosses, on the floor. Bring in 7 crosses in the air. Your job is done. Go back and defend. Nobody's gonna blame you. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. So as long as he starts doing that, I'm gonna have no problems with him. But I think he's always, the defensive genius on his side. There are times when he's exploited on a couple of occasions. I still remember on the, I think was it the West Ham game, I think, and even on the Liverpool game. But I think, most of the times trouble doesn't come from his side. Most of the time, he's not involved in the goals we concede. It's either Bellerin or Holding or someone on the right. So I have no problems with him. The crosses were nice. He was going out, forward very well. Always inter-switching with Bukayo Saka. I loved it. I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 as well. I think he is motivated. I don't know where he gets the motivation. You guys should tell me. But he is positively motivated.
He had a silly yellow card though. Like, he gave away a very dangerous and necessary free kick in the first half. And picked up a yellow card. I was not happy with that. He looked kind of slow in that, so I take that down to a 6. AJ, what did you give TIERNEY? Is he our best? Is he in the top 3 best players right now at Arsenal?
Definitely. But again, this tactic of just crossing balls in, it's like it's not working because you've not got a striker who's going to finish those chances. So this is wasted. That's the problem. But the fact Tierney's trying is good, which is why I'll give him a 7 as well. As I said, Nketiah should have taken that chance, but what can you do? 7, Tierney.
Jibin?
Yeah, I'll give him a 6. I think that's fair enough for, in my opinion. Like, yeah, he put good crosses in there. And the one thing is like, I think there's no use of putting higher crosses. He had to put a lower crosses in there. So, like, yeah, 6 I will give him. Yeah, and he made one
So,
good interception. Like, yeah, almost when it was going for a goal, he made a good interception.
so the guys are happy with the crossing. They're happy with the two guys on the wings, Inshallah, and the other guy who are just crossing ball after ball after ball to no one. So yeah, you did put a couple of good
That's the one.
crosses in. So we are happy with that because he put in a couple of good crosses, but no one to finish. The next one, did we? Yeah, the next one is let me check the comments first. You know, these guys are just trolling us, man. Everton FC is the best. Says I'm sure if you buy the right players and get the right manager, you'll be back in the Premier League. Yeah, next season probably when the fixtures are announced, we'll be facing Wycombe and Nottingham Forest in the first 5 games. I'm not looking forward to it. 7-14 all day, what a lifesaver, even though we lost one crucial clearance. Yeah, he's always active on the pitch. That's why I like him. 7. LUIZ better than the devil, you know. So the next one will start with you, Jibin. The next one is who else played? I have no idea who else played. Saka, left wing back.
Yeah, like in first half, like he was like invincible. Like I didn't see much of him to be honest in first half. But in second half, like he really improved the game. Like when he went into the right hand side, he tried his very best. Like he even took a shot on goal. Yeah, he tried at least his level best. I will give him a 7.
7. AJ?
Yeah.
For Saka, I think he's one player that tries, gives us that energy. He did that against Southampton, which is where the goal came from for us. Other than that, we probably would have lost that game as well. But I think he tries. That's what he gives us energy, and it's kind of worrying that a 90-year-old has having to carry us this season. You can't bring that much pressure on him. That's not good for the development of the player. You know, putting him under a lot of pressure. You know, doesn't have the right players around him to guide him. But I think with Saka, I'll give him a 6.
Saka 6. What would you guys give Saka? The chat. We'll get bullied by Akane. That's Akin Farrell from Wycombe. Yeah, Wimbledon. Sorry, we'll be in trouble. We'll be in trouble. Nathaniel asks Glen Michael out.
Is it time to go?
No, if I wasn't Mikel out against Burnley, probably not against Everton. I still will give him January. I still will give him January, but obviously not if we lose our next 4 games in a row.
On what basis do you give him January?
Because I know the players are not good enough. That is why the players are not good enough, and we have seen he can do something at the end of last season. It's not like the moment he came, like we had one good month and then the rest of it has been terrible. Half of it was okay and half of it has been poor. So I still think he needs some players in January. Not just some, like more than 10 players. The players are not good enough. As we wait for Kosi to come back, we'll go to the next player. I'll start with the JL NENY, L sideways, as they call him.
Very much. El sideways, El backwards, El Iniesta.
El Pirlo.
Anything but El Pirlo, El Iniesta. Again, he wasn't good enough. I mean, he's average. That's what you get from Oneni. He's consistently average. You know, he doesn't. It's confusing because you know he controls the game. He does what he can do, and he gives it to a better player. But again, I think CEBALLOS has to take more blame for it. But I think CEBALLOS and Oneni, I'll both give them a 3 out of 10. It's just they weren't helping it. They weren't helping.
Yeah, it's like when Ellen is next to Partey, only he's very good. Like when we saw the United game, if there's no Partey in there, like he's just like another Elneny, same Elneny, average player.
What did you give Elneny?
Yeah.
Jibin?
Oh yeah, I give him a 3.
Three. And how about Tobias?
Same thing.
Seven.
Same problem with NENY.
Same.
Just not creating enough, not doing enough. 3.
Yeah, same.
So
Even
same
I'm
three?
surprised. I'm still surprised. Like about the Ceballos thing. Like I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I still
He
don't
played
know
too
because I
deep.
was one of
He
those
played
people
way too
crying
deep.
for him.
Played
Yeah,
too
same
deep.
me.
That's not Saka's fault.
Because I don't know how he'd be so good, like literally 2 months ago, and then after a few months, it's terrible. So AJ, those two players, I know you said about their creativity, but what about their holding play? Like, how do they like hold the midfield? Do they do it well or poorly?
Everton gave us a lot of possession in the second half, and I think we
Yeah,
had the ball. But again, that's where it goes down to creativity. So we controlled the game in the second half. So you can't really base them on holding the game because Everton didn't come at us in the second half. So you have to
yeah.
base them off the creativity and trying to create the chances for the Eddie NKETIAHs, for the Willian, Pepe, etc., which we didn't do, which NENY and CEBALLOS didn't do, which is why you kind of have to base their performance off that.
Speaking of Willian, you can tell me about Willian. I was so frustrated with him. Like, he's supposed to be the most experienced player in the team, and he's the one who's costing us more. Like, he's the one who's literally doing nothing. So, what would you give him
3-year
for
deal.
today?
3-year deal as well.
Yeah, and it's just the first 2 months, so you have to do with it.
Oh
So,
my god!
what would you give him for today?
First half was shocking. Didn't see anything from him. He was walking, strolling, not bothering, couldn't care. Second half, I thought he tried a bit more. He picked up the ball, tried moving it forward, tried creating, tried doing something. It just didn't work out for him. It just didn't, and it was overall very poor from Willian. Again, as I said, he tried, but nothing really came off for him. I'll give him a 4.
Jibin, do you think he doesn't care?
Sorry.
Do you think he doesn't care,
I
William?
think like he just came for the wages, in my opinion, because like first of all, like when he was at Chelsea, he was the player like who is giving you 10 assists or like 10 goals. He's just giving you like
Mm-hmm.
5 assists and 5 goals just in a season, just like 10 goal per assist combination. He's just that
Yeah.
kind of player. And even Chelsea fans have said, even I knew like this guy will be only for the squad rotation player, like for impact or something. Just like when Pepe is tired or he's not working, like after 60 minutes you can bring in Willian. But this guy is like I don't know, even one now for 3 years, like we had to suffer for him. I'm giving him I can't even give him more than one.
Wow, not more than one. William is a
Yeah,
useless signing
only
as
one I'm
wasted, which
giving
is
only
sad.
for the second half. He tried something as HR said, like he tried something in second half, so I will give him in a one.
To be fair, Jibin, if in the first half your level is 1, it won't be so hard to have to up your level to 2 in the second half. So you might see that he's improved, but literally he's just moved from level 1 to 2, which is still not good enough. So I don't understand because last season he was so good at taking penalties at Chelsea. He was scoring free kicks. His corners were so good. His deliveries. I think he had double figures in terms of goals and assists. And then all of a sudden it comes to Arsenal, no goal. I had a stat that he's taken 28 shots at Arsenal, and I think like one has been on target. That is literally
Uh,
terrible for
he was
28
Chelsea
shots
second
and
best player.
one on target from 28 shots.
He was
That
Chelsea
is
second best player last season.
Yeah, it was. That's why I'm wondering what went wrong all of a sudden. So for me,
Yeah.
I don't think he's good enough anyway. So I probably give him like a 2. But the other guy that plays on the other wing, apart from scoring the penalty, for me, I do think Pepe and Willian are in the same level right now, and I still will say that every single day because I feel he also annoys me very much. Every time he has the ball, I saw him trying to dribble like 8 times today, and he was giving away the ball every time outside the box. I know I had someone saying he was giving 100% today, shouldn't have been subbed. I was actually calling for Pepe and William to both get subbed off because there's a time they were both frustrating me in that second half. I don't think he's doing enough. Jibin, do you think Pepe is doing enough? Do you think he's better than William right now?
It's like both are at the same level. I'm not sure like whether who to I will put above them. It's like when we signed this guy, like I knew this guy. Like I was not that excited because like he came from a French league, so we can't judge truly on the French league. And like Emery have said like he wanted Zaha instead of this guy. So like now we understood why. Because if we had instead of Zaha instead of him, like at least we would have got some more goals from Zaha because he's proven a Premier League player. This Pepe, I'm not sure about. I think like he's becoming one of the biggest flops. I'm not joking. Like feeling that. I don't know whether it's a system problem or like because he already had three managers. He had Unai Emery, Freddie Loenberg, now Mikel Arteta.
Yeah,
Now three managers. He can't get the best out of him. So I'm not sure.
yeah. Hey Jay, can you remember three performances that Pepe has like performed very well, three different games from the top of your head? Like from first minute to
Not
last
really.
minute.
Not really.
Because I've picked up something from everyone from this stream and everyone talking like Jibin AJ90, like everyone is saying he was okay in the second half or this one was okay in the first 50 minutes. The game is 90 minutes. I don't want Pepe to be okay for 10 minutes. I don't want Willian to be okay for the last 30 minutes. It's not good enough. So
The frustrating
yeah.
thing is we all know what Pepe can do. We all know the quality he has, but he just doesn't produce it. He just doesn't do it. I'm not sure what the problem is. Is he not being deployed properly? Is that down to the manager? Is he not caring? Is he not trying? What's the problem? I'm not sure, but we all know what he can do. We've all seen what he can do. He just has to go out there and perform it, which is why we paid the big money for him. And right now, he's not living up to that price tag. And I have to say, the one we let go to get Pepe in, which was Iwobi, is doing much better.
Yeah, I can see Mr. BK saying Man City next. They did rest Mahrez today as well. They did rest Aguero on the bench today as well. So I know
We're
they're
gonna get
going to
slapped.
both start.
We're gonna get slapped. We're gonna get
Yeah,
slapped.
like they are both going to start on Tuesday. It worries me badly. It worries me badly. And the last one from the starting lineup, AJ, you can take it, NKETIAH.
Zero offers us nothing all game. The one chance he had doesn't take it. There was another one as well. He didn't take it. I've talked about
Yeah.
him enough. I don't need to go over it again. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. He
Is
doesn't
it too much
like.
pressure on him?
Why is Arteta starting him? Lacazette's on the bench. Balogun's sitting at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too much pressure on him. Arteta's starting him. It's not. All Nketiah is good at is pressing. That's where his goals came from. To be honest, he's good at running and pressing. But if you want to go and run and press, go play in the under 21s where you can actually score some goals. Not in the first team. No, thank you. He could hardly get into Leeds side when they were in the Championship. Like, how is he going to get into our side? How is he starting football matches for Arsenal? How is that even a thing? And he just doesn't offer us anything physically, anything. Just not good enough. Zero.
You can see why he was not starting there because I've seen the likes of Harrison playing in the Helder Costas. Their technique very, very different from like even what we have. So Jibin, if you had the chance, would you loan out NKETIAH in January?
Yeah, I will
Can't
probably
sell
will
him.
sell him because
Can't
he's
sell
just
him.
like yeah, sell him same yeah because he's just like 7 year tapping person. Can you tell me
Yeah.
one goal like he scored from outside the box like a long range or a banger? Anything even Elneny has scored a banger, but this guy has just do a tap in, and when he gets a chance, he misses
None.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
would
what I was
probably say him.
asking. Is it
I won't regret too. Like if you're selling him, sell him. We have Balogun there, so like yeah, I will probably sell him.
wow, Mr. BK says Balogun scored yesterday. Yeah, him and Chambers, so
Exactly.
you could argue they both deserve to be in the team right now. He's tall as well. So yeah. Let's get into the bench. AJ, how happy are you to see Martinelli back?
Very happy. I thought when he came on, he showed some fight. He showed some. He showed a fight and a passion that we didn't see the entire game from all of our players. To be honest, most of our players anyway. And I want to see him start against Man City. I want to see him start against Chelsea. We all know what he did to Chelsea last season at the Bridge. So hopefully he can do that at home because we need
Guys,
we need someone like
uh,
Martinelli right now.
uh, guys, like I got some Twitter message like from Z, like he's saying like sources in Spain say an agreement is already taken place between Laporta, who's like Barca president, and Bellerin representatives to join Barca. A fee of region of 22 million being discussed.
Very fake.
No, it's
Yeah.
like
So
no. So sources is
Did you
mirror
say
mirror
Bellerin?
football.
Did you say
Yeah, Hector
Bellerin?
Villa mirror football. Source.
They just bought Serginho Dest while they want Bellerin.
Yeah, I
I
Bellerin,
don't
don't think
think
so.
Bellerin,
Yeah.
Bellerin,
I
won't,
don't think that's true.
Bellerin won't probably will stay at Arsenal. There's no team that will get him. Anyway, Jibin Martinelli.
Yeah, Martinelli. Yeah, I will give him just like five. I know, he didn't start. No, he didn't start from the start, and he didn't get much minutes in there. So I'm not I'm not putting too much pressure on the kid. He's just come back from the injury. So yeah, he tried so hard to get something from it. Like if that below cross was little more accurate, he would have scored that goal. So I will give him
Yeah.
a 5 or 6.
AJ, what did you give him?
Martinelli,
Yeah.
probably a 6.
Willock?
Willock again wasn't on for ages, but again I thought again like Martinelli showed some fight, showed some passion. I thought there was that one chance, that one header he had. I thought he could have done much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Again, I'll give him a 5, and I think the other one was Lacazette. I wouldn't mark him. He wasn't on for long.
And then Jibin Willock, did he do better
Yeah,
than
same.
NENY did?
Yeah, because this time he tried something. Because yeah, he tried some do. Yeah, he could have done a header better, but still yeah, he's lacking that something. That's thing. If any manager, if example for Marcel Bielsa, if he got a player like Willock, he could get the best out of him. To be honest, in the midfield.
Awesome. Lacazette wasn't on for that long, so we'll give him a 5. Then AJ at it.
Arteta.
Yeah.
2. Bellerin was
2.
dropped. Bellerin was dropped, I guess, and what else? He scored a goal. I mean, I'm struggling to find positives here for Arteta because he keeps digging himself in such a deep hole to the point where, why do you give him the January window? Why? Because it's not just the fact that he's, with the decisions he's made, he's been backed, but I don't think in terms of the signings he's been backed. I looked at the squad and I thought, yes, it's a lot of players we don't want, but I think this is a squad that can definitely challenge for top 4. And we're sitting in 15th, and we're nearly January, and we're nearly the last week of January. So it's I don't see why we should give up. This super chat's coming. Why we should give Arteta a chance? Tell me why we should give Arteta a chance. Why? I
Yeah,
don't
I do
see
understand
why.
for giving Arteta a chance. Yeah, I understand because he had in this similar position after that Man City Brighton game, so he came back. Yes, that some of the positive I can understand, but the thing is I will give him a time when he's in the top 10, in eighth or seventh position or ninth position. Okay, eighth or seventh. Then due to this creativity, you can bring 2 players like that. You can improve, but no way he's in 15th. I will give him a time because no manager this team there's no way we should be in 15th.
And what's the guarantee the
Yeah.
board are going to back him in January? What's the guarantee?
I mean, there's no guarantee, but I think they have to. I mean, they can clearly see how far we've dropped right now. If they don't do it right now, we're going to be in trouble. We've dropped farther than we've ever done before. Thank you for the super chat, RK Sweetie. And to answer your question, hey Jay, I would say I'm sure if he didn't win anything, he would have been sacked by now. So I think the FA Cup has kind of bought him a couple of months to try and sort out his ideas and everything. That's because he won something. So I think if he didn't, he'd already been sacked by now because there wouldn't have been a reason to sack him. So Atita, what did you give Atita Jibin?
After I will give 3 because he didn't pick Bellerin today, so this time I'm happy with that. That's it.
Awesome. So, as again, we lost a game, 8 losses already. I saw someone writing earlier, you're gonna lose 18 games this season. It could be 18 games by February. It's not looking good. It's definitely not looking good. When you're seeing stuff like this, marking, was it PEPE on NKETIAH marking Yerry Mina? That is just terrible. All
I
over
think
the
that was
place.
Saka.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Saka, I think, wasn't it?
So disorganized. I don't know why people don't put people on the line these days, but that is so disorganized. Another frustrating thing, I don't blame them, but obviously Roy Keane would be frustrated with this. They're just laughing with the Iwobi. Iwobi has collected 3 points. People are just laughing with him. They're having fun. Iwobi is second on the table. We are 15th. So he's an former Arsenal player, but yeah, Roy Keane would be terribly mad with that. It'd be like, what are you doing smiling with a guy who's just beaten you, a guy who's about to beat you? So it's not looking good. Thank you and everyone in the chat. Mr. BK says 80 minutes not much to do. Martinelli and Joe 6. I think I'd agree with that because they kind of were better than whatever we had before. So those are your player ratings and your match reaction. Thank you, HJ90, for your help.
Thank you. Thank you. Always, always.
Thank you, man.
Jibin, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, sir. No problem. So thank you everyone in the chat. Another loss. We have City on Tuesday, and then we have another game on Boxing Day, this time against Chelsea. So a lot of, I don't know if it's an opportunity to win a game because it's not looking good for us. So let's hope we can boost our confidence with that, with a win in the Carabao Cup, going to the semi-final. That will definitely kind of help us. Shout out to you, Mr. BK, for your contribution. Okay, Sweetie, Why Not Sentiment, David, Relentless Guna, Lewis, Everton FC, all the Everton fans in the chat, all the Wolves fans, I really appreciate it. It's a terrible period for us right now, so let's hope it changes. Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.